Okay guys, testing. It's Will DeLucy, Amplified Trading. Just want to talk about the oil moves that we've seen today, as there's been quite a lot of action, and I've got my live oil ladder here, Lone 1066 on the screen, also looking at some of the moves that we've seen already in oil. So very news driven day today in crude oil, and if that's the type of market that you enjoy trading, then I hope you're able to take advantage of this type of news. So when you see a blue arrow on my chart, a blue arrow pointing higher, that means I've bought. When you see a red arrow, that means I've sold. You're not getting the sizes here, however, so I'll take you through as we go along. But this first piece of news then, this was coming out on our news feeds. Russian energy minister states that OPEC are attempting to create a meeting between themselves and non-OPEC countries. So this is showing perhaps Russia's eagerness to try and get hold of some market share. We did push higher, 32.20, pushing towards 32.26. There's the execution long, not quite able to take it off at its top there, and then just markets grinding higher. So executing, really thinking that not too much is happening here. We then pushed through the day's highs in crude oil. So remember, this is CLE 32.67 was the previous high of that Russian move, and this is where things start to get really interesting, and then really where you can see my chart and the resultant ladder P&L very active indeed. We get more talk from the Russian energy minister. Well, just before that, we got Novak news saying 5% cut talks may involve all oil-producing nations, and that was here. 5% cut talks may involve all oil-producing nations. Now, we got that news really early here at Amplified Trading, and you can see I actually went long here. The market started going higher. I took half off for a small profit, half off for a small loss. Just before then, it seemed like the rest of the market got the news. We almost got that news too early here. So, benefit of our own success in a way, or victim of our own success, I should say. Then I did get long again here. This is the main trade. Can you see buying 6 contracts? So then, as the rest of the market got the news, and really this is when Bloomberg got the news. We got it first from Twitter, we then got it in Reuters, and that was here. Then Bloomberg finally catch up and get the same piece of news.
Just under 10 minutes now.
And one moment. Then Bloomberg catch up, get the same piece of news. I go along 6 contracts, take some of it off, scaling off profit, add to it again. So now back long 6 contracts. And then this is the execution on the upside. First order 33.39, then 33.59, then 33.52. That was one of the big trades. Long again, adding to it, buying 3, just taking 2 off. So I've still got long 1 contract here, long 2 contracts, sorry. Those 2 I'm taking off at 34.25. So now already I've got about $2,500 on the bank off this oil trade. Then it gets a bit messy at the top here. I sell one, I'm thinking about perhaps going long again for a further push. And then you have a very risky trade here. And I don't recommend you do this, but we were, and came out with the news. You see, this is actually where we first got the news. This red arrow here is where we first got the news that, hang on a minute, this is Russia talking about Saudi production cuts. So the move higher here is we're getting the talk about the 5% all production cut across the whole of OPEC and non-OPEC producers. Then we get the news at this point here, and you remember it in the room with Ant saying, no, hang on a minute, this is Russia talking about Saudi cuts. How would you feel if you were Saudi and Russia's stealing your headlines? So because I'd already got $2,500 in the bank, I thought it worthwhile me having a short entry here, but importantly, look at this pivot point. We were coming back down to R1 here. So we had R1 as a handle. We also had 35 as an overall resistance. And anyway, this is short 2 contracts. We take one off relatively quickly, and the other one I take off all the way down here at 33.93. Ultimately, in oil, we're now really pretty much trading exactly where we were. Well, we are higher. Let me remove the orders and positions. We are higher than where we were before any of this news or any of these announcements started to come out. But this is very common in oil. and it's very, very common when you're trading volatile markets. Higher by 5.5%, lower than by 5.6%, in order to finish up pretty much exactly where we were trading. You have to be proactive with your entry. You have to have confidence in your ability to do the right thing should the market not move in your favor. You also have to be proactive with exits. Always expect, and the more experience you get, the more you'll see this, you should, especially in oil, you should always expect this type of movement. Even if we do end up going high, if you're trading intraday, you should expect this type of whippy movement and not just do the hidden hope and hold on forever expecting this to be the best trade of all time. Much better to be proactive with your exits and book that profit and end up, even though we're all the way back down, not far away from where we were, hopefully you've been able to take some money off the table trading that oil volatility.